Hispano-Suiza. Hispano-Suiza, Spanish for Spanish-Swiss, is a Spanish automotive engineering company. It was founded in 1904 by Marc Burkite and Damien Mateu as an automobile manufacturer and eventually had several factories in Spain and France that produced luxury cars, aircraft engines, trucks and weapons. In 1923, its French luxury car arm became a semi-autonomous partnership with the Spanish parent company. In 1946, the Spanish parent company sold all of its Spanish automotive assets to ENASA, a Spanish state-owned vehicle manufacturer, and the French arm continued as an independent aviation engine and components manufacturer under the Hispano-Suiza name. In 1968, Hispano-Suiza was taken over by the aerospace company Snecma, which is now part of the French Safran Group. An attempt to relaunch the marque was made by the company Hispano-Suiza Cars associated with the Peralada Group. In 1898, a Spanish artillery captain, Emilio de la Cuadra, started electric automobile production in Barcelona under the name of La Cuadra. In Paris, Emilio de la Cuadra met the Swiss engineer Marc Burkite and hired him to work for the company in Spain. Under his direction, two types of La Cuadra gasoline-powered engine cars were started immediately, one equipped with a 4.5 horsepower single-cylinder explosion engine and another 1.1-liter two-cylinder model, 7.5 horsepower. In 1900, these two explosion engines were the first designed and built in Spain by La Cuadra from a Burkite design. These cars had four wheels, the previous two directional, clutch mechanisms, 3-speed gearbox, chain drive and suspension by crossbows. Two complete vehicles were completed, and there were some more under construction. Yet another restructuring took place in 1904, creating La Hispano-Suiza Fábrica de Automóviles under Castro's direction, also based in Barcelona. Four new engines were introduced in the next year and a half. A 3.8-liter and 7.4-liter four-cylinder and a pair of big six-cylinder engines were produced. This company managed to avoid bankruptcy and its largest operations remained in Barcelona until 1946, where cars, trucks, buses, aero engines and weapons were produced. Other factories in Spain were at Ripoll, Seville, and Guadalajara. In 1910 Jean Chassagne competed with a Hispano-Suiza together with works drivers Pileveredier and Zuccarelli in the Coupe des Voiturettes Boulogne and the Catalan Cup races, gaining second and fourth places respectively. France was soon proving to be a larger market for Hispano-Suiza's luxury cars than Spain. In 1911, an assembly factory called Hispano France began operating in the Paris suburb of Levallois-Perret. Production was moved to larger factories at Bois-Colombes, under the name Hispano-Suiza in 1914 and soon became Hispano-Suiza's main plant for producing the largest, most costly models. The Hispano-Suiza T49 was a car manufactured by the Spanish company Hispano-Suiza between 1924 and 1944. It was the Spanish version of the French H6B model. It had a six-cylinder engine of 8,000 cc, 160 horsepower and a maximum speed of 177 km per hour. It featured four-wheel drum brakes, brake booster, and a 3-speed gearshift with reverse. The Hispano-Suiza H6 is a luxury car that was produced by Hispano-Suiza, mostly in France. Introduced at the 1919 Paris Motor Show, the H6 was produced until 1933. Roughly 2,350 H6, H6B, and H6C cars were produced in total. The H6 engine featured a straight-six engine inspired by designer Marc Burkite's work on aircraft engines. It was an all-aluminium engine displacing 6,597 cubic centimeters, 403 cu-in. Apart from the new overhead camshaft, it was essentially half of Burkite's aviation V12 design. The 7-bearing crankshaft was milled from a 600 pounds, 272 kilogram, steel billet to become a sturdy 35 pounds, 16 kilogram, unit, while the block used screwed-in steel liners, and the water passages were enameled to prevent corrosion. One of the most notable features of the H6 was its brakes. They were light alloy drums on all four wheels with power assist, the first in the industries, driven with a special shaft from the transmission. When the car was decelerating, its own momentum drove the brake servo to provide additional power. This technology was later licensed to other manufacturers, including arch-rival Rolls-Royce. The 1922 H6B was slightly more powerful. An 8.0-liter, 488 cu in, 110 by 140 mm, 4.3 by 5.5 in, engine was used in 1924's H6C. The H6 series was replaced in 1933 by the J12, which initially used a 9.5-liter, 580 cu in, V12 pushrod engine. In 1999, Hispano-Suiza moved its turbine operations to a new factory in Bezons, outside Paris, using the original factories for power transmissions and accessory systems for jet engines. In 2005, Snecma merged with Sagam to form Safran.